Mark shut his eyes again after Linda settled back into her chair. A pang of regret coursed through him for having let her know he was awake. If only he had stayed quiet, he could have continued listening to her heartfelt words and basking in the comfort of her presence. Feeling her head resting so tenderly on his arm had been a balm to his pain, both physical and emotional. But the sound of her crying, it had cut him deeper than the bullet ever could. He couldn't bear it. That alone had compelled him to squeeze her hand and let her know he was there, awake and okay. "You ruined a sweet moment, you idiot," he joked to himself, a faint smile tugging at his lips. But he promised himself he wouldn't let this stop him from telling her how he felt, when the time was right. For now, though, she needed rest and time to gather her strength. That was what mattered most. Just then the door opened and Nana's warm, boisterous voice filled the room. My beautiful children," she exclaimed, walking toward them. "You two have been through so much. But things will get better. First, you both need rest. To gain the strength to face the world again." Her tone carried the authority of a school principal, kind yet commanding. Mark couldn't help but smile weakly, stealing a glance at Linda, who did the same. He turned to her, his voice soft but firm. "Nana's right, my dear. Go and rest. We'll talk more tomorrow." Linda nodded, her expression hesitant but understanding. She stood with some effort and returned to her wheelchair, looking back at Mark for a moment before the nurse entered to wheel her out. Mark watched her go, a lingering warmth spreading through his chest, though it was tinged with worry. As soon as Linda left, Nana's demeanor softened, her expression now full of concern as she approached Mark's bedside. "Ah, mi amor, you scared me," she said, shaking her head. "And that poor woman, she's been worried sick about you. Poor thing has been through so much already. I hope that sick man rots in jail for what he's done to her." Mark's face hardened, his jaw tightening as regret and anger bubbled to the surface. "You're right, Nana," he said, his tone resolute. "I should have done something about him the moment you told me what he'd done to her. But now, I'll make sure Joseph never even lays his eyes on Linda again, let alone hurt her." "Good, mi amor," Nana agreed with a sharp nod. "Losing her sister is the last straw. She should not have to face that monster again." Mark's eyes widened in shock as he turned to Nana. "Lydia is dead?" he asked, his voice laced with disbelief. Nana looked at him with a mix of sadness and surprise. "Didn't Linda tell you? What have you two been talking about all this time?" she asked with a knowing, sheepish grin. "Oh, Nana, you're too much," Mark replied, shaking his head with a small, exasperated smile, but his expression quickly sobered. "It's tragic that Lydia is gone. Too young, too soon. I feel so sorry for Linda. It must be unbearable for her." "It is, mi amor. She now needs all the love we can give her so she doesn't feel alone in this world." Mark nodded, his gaze firm. "You're right, Nana. And I plan to give her all the love in this world." A flicker of resolve crossed his face, a promise he was determined to keep, not just for Linda, but for the family he realized he desperately wanted to build with her.